We're over here in the Atchafalaya Basin. We're at Allen's camp. My camp's across the way. We've been having these camps, what, about
3 years, going on 4.
3 years already?
Yeah. 3 years, going on 4.
3 years, going on 4. Just trying to learn where everything's at out here. I guess it was a little bigger than what we thought. But it was surprising, there was a lot more dry land than what we thought when we bought it.
We deal with a lot of water fluctuations. We don't have tides, but we have a lot of, throughout the year, the water can fluctuate, 7, 10, 12 foot throughout the year. So when we get high waters, of course, all the animals do one thing, and then when we get low waters, everything changes.
Yeah, so we learning that real quick. I don't think anybody ever really warned us for that whenever we bought the camp originally.
No.
So winter months, like right now, everything's what the Mississippi River's at?
The last I checked the app on the Butte La Rose, it was at 3 foot, almost 4 foot.
And that's about average, 3 foot above sea level.
Yeah, and when it's at 17 foot, the water's right here up on the land.
So Mississippi River will go from 3 foot to 17 foot. And I guess with the way the levee system rolls, I know there's a breach further north, and then one to the south that you made it to the Atchafalaya River.
Yeah, we're about a mile, 1.2 miles off the Atchafalaya River. So the water fluctuates quite high, quite drastic throughout the year. So it's a big learning curve. A little different than hunting the swamps back home.
Well, we still have swamps back home. They still have rise and fall by your house.
Yeah, that's
where we hunt. I mean, that's a
couple of feet versus.
Yeah, it's still a little wet, but we've seen a few dry winters. Last year, we had the drought.
Last year was drought. Last year was bad. Where there's normally 2 or 3 foot of water, we were able to walk out there with tennis shoes on if you really wanted to.
That was nice though.
Yeah.
Like
now that's all water again.
That was nice to get out there, walk around in the swamps, not having to worry about sink up to your knees, water all over the place. You can see the deer trails.
And this year we're gonna try something different. We're gonna start using lock-on mobile stands, bow hunting. We're gonna be hunting the WMA and state land, so we get to compete with everybody else.
So, all right. So you said that it's kind of new to us. You found who you started watching last year. So we started, I guess, because I don't know about you. All my life I hunted leases,
box blinds, food plots, 100, 200 yard lanes, heaters, and it was just a luck of the draw what was going to walk out. There was no
hope.
You weren't.
You hope
hunting,
something.
You were hoping.
You hope something's coming out.
Started last year, and we're really getting more into it this year. We're going to start hunting. We're going to go where nobody wants to go. We started watching Dan Infalt, Hunting Beast.
I watched a lot of the guys from Southern Outdoors
and the Hunting Public, and
yeah,
them guys really put a fire in your ass to make you want to get out there and go do something more than just a 4x4 box blind 10 feet up with a heater and looking down a food plot.
Yeah. So last year you started watching this. You went ahead. What was your first stand you had bought?
My first one was the Novix.
The Novix?
Yep,
Yeah.
the Novix.
So you bought that one. Before you even bought one, you started getting me into watching Dan with Hunting Beast.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, you want to try this? Let's give it a go. So I went and bought me a cheap, I think it was I paid $50 for it at Academy.
The little game winner.
Yeah, stand weight, just a stand weight 30 pounds. I went and got some millennial sticks, fixed sticks. They're like 3 foot long.
Yeah.
They weighed 1,000,000 pounds. Yeah. We went out, we made our first hunt though.
When we started going mobile and doing the lock-ons,
we made our first hunt.
We started seeing just a stupid amount of
You
animals.
was in the stand for what, maybe an hour?
Maybe, yeah, about an hour.
And a nice little buck come out.
Yeah.
Because you walked in. I had left my stand one day. I said, okay, I'm gonna kind of do like Dan and I was saying. I'm gonna go scout and I'm gonna look for some good They were only nocturnal where we were at. We had feeders up, everything. They were nocturnal. We're like, all right, let's go ahead and let's give this a whirl. Let's see. So I left my stand one day and I went walk, and I made it a couple 100 yards. I found game trails, rubs, scrapes, all over. And I called you up and said, hey, look, hey, I found a spot. I'm telling you.
It's amazing what you find when you get off that beaten trail.
That's what I'm talking about. We parked the boat. We went in straight against the wind.
Against the wind to their face, and
You
straight
set
in.
up your stand. I was like, all right, look, the trail's right here. Rubs over there. I'm going to walk 100 yards this way. You set up. I get in my stand. I set up. I grab a sandwich and start eating because it's the middle of the day. I think I wasn't done with the sandwich, and I hear,
Yep.
I hear the gunshot.
Yep. Yeah, we were hunting with I was hunting with my 45-70 that time.
Yeah, I mean, it was still rifle season. It was the middle of season. Like you said, we were hunting on hopes. We were struggling. We messed up the area ourselves. We were going trying to cut right-of-ways. We were putting more human presence signs than...
Then we needed to.
Yeah.
Versus going in, scouting your way in, and hanging bang. Stop walking around. Stop doing all that stuff, and just go in, find the sign, set up, hunt. Hunt to win.
Yeah. The very next hunt after that, I went in with my dad. I put him right around his same spot that he always wanted to hunt. He was, that looked like TJ, the game warden.
Yeah, those are our local game wardens.
Yeah.
They know us very well.
Local game warden passing. It's Labor Day weekend, so I seen some people swimming on the
Had a few
sandbar
boats
earlier.
pass already.
They always usually come out Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, and make sure everybody's doing good. So, but anyway, the very next hunt that I went in, so that was the first hunt ever with the mobile setup.
Yeah, it was the first one.
You dropped
I
one.
played around with it in the backyard. I played around it
Yeah.
behind the house just to get the hang of climbing it and stuff like that. But that was the first official hunt, and I killed. And then the second time you had went, I was going to another buddy's camp to go deer hunting over there.
Yeah.
On the way out there, I got a picture. It was still daylight of the buck you killed.
Yeah, I walked in, same thing. I dropped my dad off. He wanted to hunt his same old setup. I said, well, I'm going to take this setup. It worked last time. I went, parked the boat. We got a west wind because we had boat access only. Parked the boat, which that always gave us trouble too.
Yeah.
Those deer bedded down along that. We go in during the day and see deer bedded down along the canal. There was a ridge on both sides of the canal. They used that for bedding.
Yeah.
It was hard for us to get
Yeah.
in.
They'd see you coming, they'd hear you
Yeah.
coming, and by the time you got there, they were long gone. And then we
So
wouldn't see anything.
we started going in around noon.
Going in at noon, idling, quiet as we can be. Now this is boat access only. There is no walking back here.
Yeah.
There's no access to get to it from the trucks. You have to launch a boat and get to it by boat. There's no other way of getting back there.
Yeah. So I ended
Walking
up
wasn't an option.
almost the same situation. I parked the boat on the bank. I walk in 40 yards. I never even scouted this area. Found the first. I knew there was some bedding there. It was full of cut grass, and I seen a lot of trails going into that bedding. I walk in, find a couple trails that kind of went into
All
each
came
other,
together in one.
and rubs right there. I set up. 8-point buck comes walking up 5 yards in front of my stand.
Which is surprising too, because out there in that swamp, there's not much cover above us.
Mm-mm.
It's all bald cypress trees. There's not much cover. So when you get up, 15 foot, 20 foot, you're skylit. You're just up there sticking out like a sore thumb. So we've been hunting off those trails. I mean, as far as we can possibly push ourselves to get off those trails, because there is no canopy, there is no cover over there. The only cover they got is 80, 90 feet up in the air, and you can't get that high.
Yeah.
It's not.
And
like
I was
hardwoods.
only 2 sticks up.
What's good about hunting them swamps, when there's water, you can hear them coming from a mile away. What sucks is having to drag them out
Yeah.
through that shit. Cypress knees and 2 foot, 3 foot of water.
So this year, in that situation, in that little swamp, we decided we left well enough alone. We didn't, no more right-of-ways, no more cutting trees, no more
trees. No more
feeders,
Yeah.
nothing.
less presence than what we.
I went
we
walk.
do.
I went walk to just go find some new signs a couple weeks ago, and I'm getting action during the day where I found those signs. But there's still a lot of that area that we left alone that we haven't even gone checked yet.
Yeah.
Went walk in anything. We just kind of
Yeah, and all around us, that's all other leases too. So there's
Once those guys start,
once they start, everything.
if we keep it quiet,
Yeah.
I think they'll push everything right to us.
Yeah.
But over here in the basin, it's a little bit of a different ball game, which we're planning on. Teal season opens what, 2 weeks from now?
2 weeks from now, yeah.
So we planning
Teal
on
season.
going teal hunting. We're still in the process of scouting, maybe trying to find some. Well, so last year over here,
Well, the end of last year, we had them pinned down very well.
End of last year,
Very well. The signs that we're seeing, these last few weeks out here in the basin, it's not what we saw at the end of last year because of that water fluctuation.
yeah.
So out here, they're also allowed to run dogs. So once they start running dogs, everything changes again. The water's going to start coming up a little bit more. People are going to be out and about scoring. Our hunting season opens up October 1st for deer for archery, but that's also the same weekend as squirrel and rabbit. And there's a lot of people that come out here and they hunt squirrel, and it pushes everything around and it moves everything around. So as the season goes on, we'll hone into them, and I got a gut feeling they're gonna be back where they were at the end of last year.
But last year we kind of had a little game plan going. We kind of messed it up over here last year also because we were still into setting up 2-man stands. We were cutting trees down. But opening day, we went out, saw a couple 6-pointers, couple nice bucks. Nothing big, but what we call shooters. We not after 200-inch deer over here.
Oh, look, they walk out. I have no problem slinging an arrow or shoot. But no.
We hunt for food here. We're not like Dan, all those guys looking for. Well, first of all, we're in the swamp over here. I don't think I've ever seen a 200 hunt.
I'm sure there's some guys, some dudes back there, but for the most part, especially hunting public land, state land and WMA land, they have the mentality if it's brown, it's down.
Yeah.
I don't know how many you let walk last year. I let 3 walk by me.
I let a bunch walk, but some of them wasn't on purpose. Some of them I had some big shooters, some big giant 8-points. One's a big tall guy and one's a big wide one. I was hunting last year. They were coming out. There was 2 or 3 hunts that I went, and they came out about 50, 60 yards, and I just wasn't comfortable taking the shot. So I just let it be, but I know they're still there.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to adjust. We've never really scouted and tried to find a deer during early bow season yet for October. So I'm still setting up cameras. I watched a video from Josh Driver, and that's basically how he explained how he'll scout. He'll go out every 6 days. He's just moving cameras around. Yeah. Him too. I'm not sitting here hoping something comes to my camera. I'm moving cameras around. I'm finding trails. I'm finding the deer. Once I find the deer, just kind of keep moving the cameras.
You got to remember, scouting down here is not like scouting up north.
Oh.
This is a whole nother ball game. You got guys, and I'm gonna throw Dan out there for example. He'll walk through this and walk through that. You try that out here, there's bottomless sloughs back here.
Yeah.
There's stuff that you cannot walk across it. Some of it we can get back there with the mud boat or the gator tail, and some of it we can't. So scouting for us, it's difficult. Again, because of the fluctuating waters and the bottomless, endless sloughs we got out here.
I think out of all the people we watch, I've never really seen any. I think maybe one person from Florida, but I've never seen anyone else to try and record and try and show anything about hunting swamps in Louisiana.
I haven't.
I've never seen
I haven't
anything.
seen it. I'm sure there's someone out there. I haven't seen it.
This is a whole different ball game.
It's a whole different animal out here. It really is.
It's hard, and like you said, we have 10, 17-foot fluctuations in the water. Everything that I'm scouting right now was underwater 3 months ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Last year there was a few places we had the 4-wheeler, and we tried to throw some, throw and grow and make a little food plot. And just a few weeks ago, I rode over that with my gator tail.
Yeah.
That was 3 or 4 foot underwater just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then last year we were walking out there; it was bone dry. So scouting for us is it's difficult. You know, as the season goes on, the water's going to start coming up, and everything's going to change.
Which,
You know?
which brings me to my next thing. Like, so we talking about how everything changes. I'm starting to really think the deer kind of migrate where the food source is here.
Yeah.
So right now, what I'm learning, where we hunted late bow season, the last day of bow season last year, February, me and my dad was in that stand. I was sending you text messages. 4 more just passed.
Yeah.
A nice buck just passed. I'm sitting here, and this is the most deer I've ever seen, probably in one hunt in my life. And I've been scouting the same area early season. No signs.
Nothing.
Nothing
It's-
on
it's-
camera.
it's-
Nothing.
But the food source is different. I mean, that's what we're thinking. The food source is different, and right now that water's down, so they have more places to bed. When the water comes up, all that's going to change. They're not going to, you know, as soon as that water starts coming up a little bit more, and you start getting people and more activity and noise and the damn dogs.
Well, we know that's like you said, the dogs.
Everything's gonna
We know
change.
once the dogs come in,
Yeah.
they run the dogs on public land. The deer from there push onto the WMA.
Where dogs are not allowed.
They still go,
They
they get
still go.
there, and they kind of push the deer there. But, so, when they start running dogs, we know where the deer aren't. But
Correct.
the thing is,
Yeah.
right now, that's where all the high ground is.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's full of briars, full of good food source, different trees, more oaks. 'Cause I've never really seen any oaks down on the bottom end.
No.
That's
No.
all cypress trees.
The only thing on the bottom end is on the west side. They got some stuff, but that's a, you know, you're talking.
We haven't gotten
you know,
there
we
yet.
haven't gotten there. That's several miles back there.
Well,
We haven't even seen
yeah,
much hog sign.
the
really,
east
either.
side, right next to the lake, has some
Yeah.
oak trees also.
And I think we're going to try to hunt that this year too.
We haven't scouted
Try
that
to
because
hunt
we're gonna
where
just
we're
do a
going.
blind hunt there.
Yeah, do a blind hunt.
Yeah.
Just go in blind, scout your way in, and because a lot of people probably just overlook that. You know, that's my thinking. You go into the entrance of the WMA, and again, the WMA is boat access only. I mean, you can pull up, but you really can't walk far because it's wet. You know, there's ponds and sloughs and trenches and stuff like that. So it's not just 6,000 acres of hard land like most people are used to. We got probably 95% of it's water. You can't even walk it. You
Yeah.
know, so we're gonna try to hunt the transition lines. We're gonna try to hunt the ridges and the high grounds. We're trying to go where no one else wants to go, or where people are overlooking to go.
I tell you
Yeah.
what, today I went about 2 miles in, 3 miles in. I didn't tell you this yet. I found a lean-to stand. Looked like for bow, like nice little one-man bow hunting stand, little setup. How long ago it was put up? It looked like it hadn't been touched in
Yeah,
years.
that's what 4 or 5 we found in the last
On a
2 weeks we
WMA
went and looked.
where there's not supposed to
Yeah.
be any stands, we're finding stands, we're finding feeders, but we're doing it legit.
Yeah, our WMA, we're not allowed to leave stands. I don't think we're allowed to feed and
No.
stuff like that.
No arm, no screws.
Right, nothing like that. So we decided to go with the mobile setup, and I mean, we've killed a couple deer from our lock-ons, but the amount we've seen versus sitting in a
Yes.
lean-to, a 15, 20-foot lean-to stand over and over and over and over again, it's phenomenal. So it's really changed both our point of views of mobile hunting
Yeah.
versus ladder stands and box stands, and I think your dad's going to try to do some ground hunting this year, ground blinds and set up that, which I think is great.
He's 76, 77 years old now.
And he's still getting it.
I tell you what, last year I put him in that stand. He was 2 sticks high. He was still getting up in it, and he was excited, man. Even he told me that last hunt, that was the most deer he's ever seen in one hunt. We didn't kill anything, but that's probably the best hunt we've been on.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just amazing how different it. But by then it was the end of the
End of the
season.
season.
We found where they were. We found what they were doing.
The dogs had already been ran.
The
duck
dogs
hunters,
were done.
The duck hunters were in the WMA just blasting away. So everything changed, and we found them.
Yeah.
And I have a gut feeling if it stays true again this year, they'll be back in that same area again.
I'm starting to make some videos scouting right now, and I'm gonna kind of let people follow along, kind of like like you said, it's so different over here. I go walk through, and even the places that I know that I went through last year, between the water and just summertime, everything's so thick. It's a whole different world out there right now. So I'm scouting and I'm trying to find new stuff right now for early season, which we already knew of a couple places.
Yeah, I think we
For
got a
early
good. I think we
season.
got a decent game plan for early season.
Yeah.
As it goes on, we'll change and we'll adapt and we'll move around. And, you know.
I'm going. I went out this morning. I went for about 4 hours. Went moved some cameras around. Kind of scouted some new spots. I'm finding a lot more historical rubs and scrapes. Well, rubs right now, but I know where they had some scrapes. A nice scrape line before. I think it was more of a night trail, but just knowing what I know there, watching how other people were hunting it, where we saw the stands and everything, they were walking right through it.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was plain as day. All the signs were there. They didn't know how to read the signs, and I think they're trying to hunt the terrain instead of hunting the signs. And they're walking in, man, this looks like a great spot.
They're trying to hunt where they want them to be versus hunting where they're at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we found last year, we were hunting, we started at the beginning and just kind of, every time we go to that area, we just go in further and
A little
further,
further, a little further,
where we
yeah.
wasn't, leaving. We were going where there's no scent, and the more we got there, but we didn't have to go far. We knew people were going further, and it was like some people, how they say, like, you wouldn't believe it, sometimes the deer where they're at up north, the deer will bed down right next to a parking lot, and you got people walking right past it
Yeah.
to go hunt a spot that they think is so great because, it's nice and open, there's trees, but if they hunt the signs, they'd see it's
Yeah.
not quite where they think it is. So I think that's what helped us last year. So I got a couple more. I'm gonna go make another video this afternoon, and I got a four-wheeler out there right now. I'm gonna take the four-wheeler and hit a little bit of dry ground and what we call sloughs here. It's like what some people call floating marsh, but it's just a whole different ball game. These sloughs, they're bottomless, and it's not really hard ground on top, I'd say. But it's not like a floton, like
It's
a
not
marsh.
it's not like a floaton. It's like a ditch that stays wet year round, but when you step in it, you'll sink.
Yeah.
There's no walking it.
No. And which I know, I tried setting up where I could overlook into those sloughs last year. But the same thing, we setting up 2-man stands and doing this, doing that. And it wasn't working out. So I'm going to go do a little bit of scouting. I'm going to go a little bit further out the way and go see what I can find. Put up a couple cameras there.
It's amazing for the as far as we are. We're like 13 or 14 miles from the boat launch, and the amount of people that come out here. The pressure is unreal sometimes. I mean, sometimes we come out here and there's nobody.
Yeah.
Sometimes you come out here and I can watch boats pass all damn day long.
So now you're saying that, when you're saying pressure, state land is full of pressure. I really don't find WMA.
No, because
They don't want to mess around with
no.
bow,
It's
like-
mostly bow hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's primitive and rifle for a week or two.
They have 1 week of rifle, and then a few weeks later, they'll have one weekend where it's black powder.
Yeah. But you still can't leave a stand. No ATVs. You can use your boat to get in there and park your boat and get out, but it's mostly water. So it's a huge WMA. But we're on the very, very north end of it. So if we have to start going further south, we will.
Yeah.
I'm
Which
very confident about this year. I'm excited about this year.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a whole new experience. I think
It's just so damn hot right now. You try to go back there, the mosquitoes will just tear your ass.
Yeah. I found
Just mosquitoes alone down here
I
are
found
just
some spray that
horrible.
I used this morning, and I mean, it doesn't burn. It's not as strong. It's off. I rubbed it on my face. I didn't have to use a hair. Sometimes we'll use the nets.
Full face net, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's scouting.
I use my thermocell and a face net
Yeah.
and anything. They're horrible out here. I think last year opening weekend was like 80 something degrees. They're talking about a little cool front coming through next week, so that might help with teal season, but we're still a month off from.
But that's
from
another
opening
thing.
of
All these
deer.
guys up north hunting Montana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, they have snow. They have cold fronts.
Yeah, well, they also have the rut in October, early November. You know,
Yeah.
ours is so
Ours
late.
is around Christmas.
Yeah, Christmas or after, and it all depends on the weather. I think last year for Christmas we were wearing shorts out here.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't get cold like talking
No.
about.
We might get maybe 1 or 2 cold fronts.
Like serious cold fronts, yeah.
Where not
Yeah.
serious, it gets down to 20 degrees. And that's
Yeah.
what we call serious.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just this is nothing like hunting up north.
No.
Now, I really think you rather hunt duck.
Yeah. I mean, I cut my teeth as squirrel and rabbit, and then I turned, I don't know, 14 or 15, and I started duck hunting, and I was hooked. Did that for several years, and then a couple of buddies of mine kept pushing me to go kill a deer, and I finally got my first deer, and it was like, okay, this is pretty cool too. So I mean, my duck hunting is my fast pace. Let's have fun. We can be loud. We can cut up, and then when I need to get my alone time, I grab my stand and I go walk in the woods and I go deer hunt.
So my dad is kind of everywhere. Somebody wants to go duck hunting, he's going duck hunting. He's retired. He's like, this is my retirement. This is what I want to do. So I think this year the most we'll be filming is you, maybe Chandler. Chandler loves to duck
My
hunt.
son Chandler, yeah. Well, we on the WMA we can't duck hunt after I think 2 o'clock.
After 2 o'clock. So it's
So-
all morning duck hunts.
I'll take him duck hunting in the morning. We'll try to record that, and then in the afternoons, after I take a nap,
Yeah.
in the afternoons we'll grab our. I'm gonna grab my stuff and go deer hunting in the afternoon. So duck hunt in the morning, deer hunt in the afternoons, and then in between I gotta go get some squirrels.
Yeah.
You know, that's.
I don't like the tree rats. I
That's-
stay away from the
that's-
tree rats. Y'all have that. If
I'll
I
try
really
to, I'll
want
try to get
something,
some videos of that too.
if I want something that small, I'm gonna go shoot a rabbit, something like that.
I
You
mean,
know.
everything's out here. We got deer, duck, rabbit, squirrel,
Hogs.
hogs.
That's something that we haven't
You
talked
know.
about yet either. The hogs.
Last year they were plentiful. This year we got a couple of pictures here and there, but not like talking about. But
But we
We'll-
did
we'll
build a
see.
new hog trap.
we got a hog trap, which is legal. We can do that. We can bait it. We can trap them. I mean, they're a nuisance down here, so they. I think we can hunt hogs year round. Down
Year round,
So
not at night.
not at night.
Private property only at night, with permission from the landowner.
Right. Not during deer season.
But to get on private property out here is almost impossible.
Yeah.
With your camp, my camp's on an island. There's not much getting on around my camp at all. You have some squirrel, rabbits. Here around your camp,
Yeah, my camp runs
Hog,
parallel
deer.
to the Atchafalaya. So if
Yeah.
I walk out my back door and walk, 1.2 miles, I have that much land in between me and the Atchafalaya River. It just
Yeah.
makes a long run. So I've had deer on camera right here in the
with your
in the
state
yard.
land, which makes it, everybody else is going to be squirrel hunting.
Yeah,
Everyone else is right here. State
Yeah.
land, we went ride the four wheelers just to do a bit of scouting not long ago. We found 2 stands,
2 or 3
a couple
stands,
miles
yeah.
from the camp.
Yeah, I think we made it almost 3 miles from the camp.
But those stands also,
They've been there
I
a while.
find they're so far off the lake, and then they're sitting right on that first slough that comes through. But if we cross that first slough, there's a second slough that'd probably be nice and quiet. So I think that's going to be another blind hunt we might try this
Yeah,
year.
it's just to get to it.
When we get the right wind,
Yeah.
we could even take the bikes just north, stay next to the lake, and walk in a mile or so
With a west wind.
or 2 with a west wind again. You know, put the wind in our face. Walk in with our mobile set up and
Yep.
look for the signs and hunt the signs. But like you said, I mean, so I think we're gonna see a lot more videos of the hogs because we have 2 hog traps. Not to mention, sometimes we'll just go walk. I'll take the kids walk, and we could walk right up to the hogs if you know what you're doing and you're listening and you know where they at. I put Jack's 5 yards from a hog where he was just unloading on it. He missed every shot, but you know.
Yeah, we're gonna try to take videos of all that stuff.
One year we had all the kids out here. We went and checked the hog trap. We had
It was full.
full.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was our first year
It was
here.
our first year here. Yeah.
So we did pretty good ever since we started here, but I find we're getting better. And we went from, I think one year I killed a 6 point. I had a platform I hung up in the trees with a pop-up tent, a heater. I had a big 8 point. You was sitting there watching the camera with me.
Yeah, I was watching the camera with you.
I walk in, this 8 point walks 20 minutes maybe behind me.
If
Gets
that.
right to my stand where I couldn't see him, turns around and walks off because, I mean, of course he smelt me.
Yep.
This is when, we wasn't really worried about
We were hunting the
scent
same
and-
thing
yeah.
over and over and
We were sitting in
over
the
and
same
over.
stands, don't
same
get me
stands
wrong.
over and over.
It was nice sitting in a warm, dry stand with a heater.
Well, yeah.
But, I mean, I killed a nice little 6 point out of the deal. My dad had
Your dad had that big doe.
yeah, he had a big doe that he killed that one year.
That was our first
But-
year still.
You notice that doe that he killed, he went in that day, he put up that stand, he come back to the house, and he's, you know what, I'm going to hunt that stand. He went hunt that stand, and a couple hours later, no other deer had a chance to walk in that area, get spooked. None of the scenery had changed to them. They walked up on it, and it was too late.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what we're doing now.
Yep.
Rather than going set up stands, changing the scenery, cutting branches, cutting trees, doing whatever we had to do, the deer walk up, they're gone, or they're coming back at night. We just
Yep.
made every hunting scenario we ever had nocturnal. And we wonder why we had a hard time.
Last year was hard. There was no water.
Last year, the first hunt we went make, another mistake, and I mean, I'm not going to hide the mistakes. We made the mistakes. Me and my dad went, opening day, he had some 6 points. Same thing, just out of range, maybe 50 yards. He didn't want to take the shot.
But he was hunting with a crossbow.
He was hunting archery. And, oh man, I didn't have a shot. So what we do? We start dropping some small trees, stop dropping branches. Me, you, TJ, my dad, we all go back.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Chandler went, nothing.
Nothing. With just that little bit of
Yeah.
change of scenery, those deer would not come back during the day.
It'll be different this year.
I think we learned a lot. And
We're learning as we're going. This is, I think, our third hunting season out here. It's just such a vast area. We'll get it pinned down.
that's the one thing I am saying. Now that we're finding more area, we do have a lot more options. Rather than going set up a stand, saying, okay, I'm going to set up a stand right here this year. Go hunt that stand. No, now we're mobile.
Yep.
We've
We can go
already
100 yards this
yeah.
way. We can go a mile that way. You know, we can do whatever
Yeah.
we want now.
We sitting here, look, we want to go way to the south and do a blind hunt, walk in till we see the signs, just use the wind. I know I've already been looking on Google Earth and checking out some topo maps and finding some good areas, some high ground. So I think this year is going to be interesting. I'm curious to see how soon we're going to tag out.
I am too.
I'm that confident. So last year I could have tagged out the last day, but I let a buck pass because I was hoping my dad would shoot something. He didn't shoot anything. I shot, I think, a doe and 2 bucks last year.
Mm-hmm.
You shot
I shot a doe and a
doe and a buck.
Doe and a buck, yeah.
But you didn't do much deer hunting here last year.
No, I was back in
Back
the
at
swamps.
home.
Yeah, back at home.
But when it came to here, you did a lot more duck hunting.
The boys went, Jackson Chandler went, they did real good. We did some squirrel hunting. I think we ended up with 40 or 50 squirrels.
Mhm.
Me and TJ in a couple of hunts.
So this year, I think, like I was saying, I think it's safe to say, Jax, my son, and Chandler, your son, we're gonna see a lot of duck hunts from them.
Yeah, we'll cut them loose.
Which you're gonna do a lot of. I don't do much duck hunting.
Yeah.
I'll go every once in a while just to go have a hunt with my dad and my son Jax. But
I mean, that's my plan is to take them.
You like duck hunting,
Oh, I
yeah.
love duck hunting.
Yeah.
We'll take them duck. I'll take them duck hunting in the morning, and I'll have deer hunting in the afternoon. And
I'm
somewhere
more
in
of a-
between, I'm gonna go squirrel hunting.
I'm more of a big game hunter, not an appetizer hunter. Hey, don't get me wrong. Duck breasts on jalapeno, wrapped in bacon.
Some cream cheese.
Oh yeah, that's good camp food all year round.
And
But-
the boys love it. I like seeing them into that.
They
stuff.
like the excitement.
They like to go frogging.
Well, that's some more stuff we're gonna do too.
They like the frogging. Jax loves the crawfishing. Chandler loves duck hunting.
Crawfishing too. I forgot about that.
Chandler loves the squirrel hunt too.
That's
I mean, they
something
like that
different
stuff.
here that we
We tried to sit them boys down and deer hunt with them. They just won't have it. They
Mm-mm.
won't do it. They
Mm-mm.
will not do it. They
it's
hate it.
not enough
Not
excitement.
enough excitement.
They want the ducks. They want shooting. They want fun. They don't want to have to be quiet. They could cut loose.
Yep. Cut up and cut loose.
But I mean, as far as ducks, so far we've seen a lot of wood ducks, teal.
Ringnecks.
I think he shot some hooded mergansers last
Yep,
year.
We got a couple of mergansers. We seen some mallards.
Not much on mallards,
Not
but-
much on mallards, but we seen some.
So that's another thing. Talk about that. The ducks up north. I think even as close as Shreveport, which is 5 hours away from here,
yeah, about 5
they have a lot more bigger birds as far as mallards. I wouldn't go as far as say like some ringnecks and, but I think they have more of a variety.
Well, it's changed. I mean, anybody you talk to that's an avid duck hunter, it's changed. You
But-
know, several years ago there was such a variety of birds down here, and just over the last few years, I think the most increase we've seen was the Mexican whistlers. I mean, they're everywhere. They're
Wow.
actually talking about maybe next year opening that up during maybe its own season or during early teal season.
Get the
but-
population down.
to get the
on them.
population down. But we're
But-
gonna have ringnecks. We're gonna have wood ducks. We're gonna have teal. I'm sure a couple of gray ducks here and there.
Yeah.
It all depends on the feed too.
But that goes back to over here. It's a different ball game. We don't have like geese, things like people have up north. I find up north it stays colder. You know, well, I say it gets colder. The ducks migrate so far down, but I don't find they have to migrate all the way down to South Louisiana where we're at. I just don't find they're making it all the way down.
It's been a rough last few years when it comes to the duck hunt. Now there's a few places down south of Amelia, of course, it's like a freak show. You're gonna get everything, but here, where we're at,
Well, they say we're over a fly zone here.
we're over a fly zone, but it's area. You know, I mean, we got a lot of swamps and stuff like that. We got to have the open pockets of water. They got to have the feed.
Well, I was about to say
Yeah.
that too. Same thing. So we started getting a lot more sand here in Chafalaya.
Yeah.
The crabs went away. A
Crabs
lot of the
went away.
feed for the ducks, the grass that used to grow, that the ducks love eating everything.
Yep.
All that feed disappeared.
Yeah.
You got a lot more sand sediment from the Mississippi that started getting in, and it's just they changed everything here in the basin to where I guess it's just the food's not right, the climate's not quite right, I'd say. 2 years ago we came out here, I think it was Christmas Eve, you and I, that was the coldest Christmas. You and I was sitting here watching
Oh,
ducks
yeah,
fly right over the lake, which
Yeah,
we've
we
never
came,
seen that before.
That's when they predicted that hard freeze, so we came run out here to wrap our pipes. I mean, we both have well water, wells dug for our water, and we wanted to wrap our pipes and make sure nothing, none of the PVC broke. And that next morning we got up and it was in the teens. And when I walked out on the front porch with coffee, it was just hundreds of ducks just flying right in front of us, right over the water, over the lake. Right
I
there.
had to go. I was in the boat.
Yeah,
I was in the
it was
boat
ridiculous.
hoping that they'd fly close enough, and
Yeah.
I was sending it. I was trying, but that's what I'm saying. To me, when it gets cold like that, and it's
gonna push
it's
them.
just a
Yeah.
little bit colder, a little
Yeah.
further north Louisiana, to where it just pushes them
pushes
that
them.
little bit more. And then I think said they were shooting some geese, some mallards here.
I'm fine. I mean, I'm the type of dude. I'm fine with wood duck and teal. I've said that since day one. You can't beat a wood duck and you can't beat a teal.
Well, teal coming in at
You
Mach
know.
6 is a little
Yeah.
harder to shoot.
The little rice rockets. You
Yeah.
know, they come in and they mean business. They're fun to shoot. They're awesome to cook. If I had my choice, this could be either a teal or a wood duck over any other duck. That's just
Wow.
me. But I do like hunting a variety of ducks. And poodoo. We do the poodoo
I
thing.
stay away from the poodoo. Jax loves the poodoo.
Coots for the northern.
Yeah, I was about to say, people probably don't even know what we're talking about when we say
Coots.
poodoo. It's coots.
Coots for the northerns.
Yeah, so ducks, the hogs, we'll get on all that. The crawfishing.
crawfish.
I just went and bought Jax a roller wire. He's gonna be making another 40 cages, the pillow traps. We did pretty decent last year. We wanted a sack of crawfish. We'd come out by the
Yeah, he
Sunday.
would hustle. Yeah, he
Yeah.
would hustle it up too.
By the Sunday, he was catching a sack.
We'll better record some deer, squirrels for sure. I'll cut Chandler loose with that and just let him go bang on some squirrels.
We'll see how the cameras do at night for the frogging.
Yeah.
Me and Jax almost went frogging tonight, but he didn't come. Next weekend he has a decoy show because he carves decoys, and the following weekend's teal. So
Teal.
I have a feeling that's going to be one of our first videos we put out.
Yeah. It's gonna be hot.
I'm gonna put out a few scouting videos just so kind of everybody sees the terrain that we're talking about here. But thick, I don't know.
I think we got some good. I got some good shots this morning on the way in. You can see it's just swamp. It's just water. You know.
I wish we could get some alligator tags.
Yeah.
I don't know how to go about getting that. Alligator season just started this month,
Yeah.
so you can have people out.
I think you have to own or lease land, and you got to get approved and all that other.
If not, I think you gotta apply for so many tags.
And if you don't, then Mr. Green Jeans that just passed will get you.
Yeah. But other than that, that's what I say. I guess, we just wanted to kind of give everybody a taste of South Louisiana hunting.
Yeah.
There's no one else really showing it. I mean,
we can even do a couple of videos on the camps and on how we got a few things set up and just overview of things and why we come out here so often, you and I. I mean, we're always out here.
We're always out here.
That's one thing I've noticed. Nobody comes out of here.
No.
Until hunting season comes around. And then that's when people
Summertime,
come.
we pretty much have the basin to ourselves.
This whole area, there's not many people. That come
Nobody
out
likes the heat. Nobody likes the mosquitoes. Nobody likes the bugs.
I like it because there's no people.
Yeah, we out here living it up. I mean, we can go frogging when we want. We do whatever. Well, I
Fishing,
say what we
frogging.
want, but yeah, fishing. So the fishing, that's another thing we're gonna try and maybe get some videos fishing. So we started talking earlier about the fluctuation in the water. Wintertime, the water's low. Once the snow melts up north, all the water starts coming down through the Mississippi River.
March, April.
So around March, April, the water shoots up here.
Yeah.
It'll go up right here in this lake at least 6 foot, I'd
Yeah,
say.
if not more.
If not more.
Since we bought them, it's come up to the land right here. The previous owner of the camp said it would get 18 inches below the bottom of my camp.
That's
And my
amazing.
camp's 3.5, 4 foot off the ground, and I'm on the top of a ridge. So, and then several years ago, it got about 3 foot in this camp.
About
The
4
whole
foot,
camp,
yeah.
camp was flooded, and every camp out here was flooded when they opened up the Merganza.
Yeah.
So
So
hopefully they
fishing,
don't do that again.
Yeah, and like I said, with the water, now that the water went down around May, June.
June, I mean, a few of us came out here June, I think 2 years ago, and it was just absurd. I mean, the fish
fishing,
we caught was just
fishing gets
phenomenal.
great right after. All
Even
that
when it comes
water
down to
flows
jug
through.
lining, we can get videos of jug lining with catfish.
We get tight line,
We can tie, I mean, it's just
jug
it's-
line.
When they say the sportsman's paradise, this is damn near it, except crabs. There's no crabs.
Yeah.
I wish there was, but there's no crabs out here.
But we have the crawfish
But
instead
we
of
have
crabs.
crawfish.
So that's gonna be. We'll maybe make a few videos of us going out, running the crawfish cages, having a crawfish ball. Same thing, fish, frogs. Go out, do all that, and maybe show how we, fry up some frog legs and some white beans or something with it. Same thing.
I'm sure we'll have a couple of buddies coming out here with us. I think for the most part, both our camps are, I'm gonna call them quiet camps. We stay to ourselves. We don't have an ass load of people out here. We just do our own thing.
No,
No drama,
really,
no
yeah.
troubles.
don't really drink anymore, so we just chill out and let the kids have fun. Sometimes we'll go tubing right here on the lake, or
Just
let
boat
the kids
riding.
swim.
We can get some videos just going north and south, and just go ride around.
So that's gonna be the one thing that I think we decided we were gonna do different here. Everyone else, they'll go out and record a lot of deer hunts they do stuff, but we're gonna show it all.
Oh, yeah. Whatever's in season that we can do. We'll try our best. I mean, we're amateurs when it comes to this shit. So
I would say
learning.
amateurs.
No,
I mean,
no, I'm talking about recording
Yeah,
the video stuff.
yeah.
As far as hunting and fishing, we've been doing that our whole lives. But as far as like recording stuff, we're just dipping our toes into it, and we'll see how it goes.
Well, at the same time, I mean, I've been hunting my whole life, and I've always hunted for meat. I'd go out, like you said, set in a stand, a doe come out, shoot a nice doe, bring it home. If I get 2 does for the year, I was happy.
Yep.
Oh, I still am. As long as
Yeah, I
we
was about
got
to say,
meat,
shit, I'm still happy.
as long as we got deer ground meat,
But
deer
I'm
sausage.
sure we were both raised the same way. You hunt, you kill, you clean, you cook, you eat. You know, nothing. We didn't waste anything. If my dad caught us shooting squirrels or rabbits and tossing them, I'd end up with a whooped ass.
Yeah.
So, and that just made us into the men we are today.
That's what I see. So, I mean, we're changing the way we're doing things. We're learning more from people like Dan and those guys. So we're kind of making changes. So that's new to us.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying with the amateur is
The recording.
videoing,
Yeah.
documenting what we're doing. We've never done that before.
Videoing. We
We've
don't
been
have
doing
we
this.
don't have $500 cameras.
Nope.
It's all gonna be stuff like this.
Yep.
The sound might not be great, but we might get better cameras later. We'll try and learn how to edit. We need to get, familiar
Sound like
with
a
it.
good job for Curry, man.
Yep. So, other than that, I think that covers everything as far as introduction to what we want to do. Just all around, just basically just the Basin life. Everything we do here, we practically live at these camps. We go to work, we're here most of the weekends sometimes.
Almost any chance we get, we're out.
Yeah, I'll
know.
come out here weeks at a time by myself
I
sometimes.
think it's an hour drive to the launch for me and about an hour and a half to the launch for you, and then a 25 or 30 minute boat ride. You know, so we're about an hour and a half, 2 hours from home. You know, just to get here. It costs, fuel and all that good stuff.
Yeah. So it's basically off-grid living.
Yeah, solar panels for the camps, generators
Solar
for the
panels,
camps.
generators, water wells, rainwater. I mean, you name it. There's. Trust me. There's
Yeah.
no electricity lines.
No, at night out here it's pitch black. You can't see
Yeah.
anything.
I
You don't
mean,
hear anything. Maybe some tugboats in the Chaffalaya every now and again, but we're so far out here.
That's like right now. We're on a lake. The only boat we've seen pass since we started this video was the game wardens.
That's it.
And I mean, it's funny they didn't stop just to.
Just to say hello.
Yeah.
And just remember that, just to remind us that they're here.
Yeah. So, but I mean, anything else? I mean, we don't sell any gear.
Nope.
We don't have.
No, we're just your average coon asses, man. Just
We're not doing this for money. We're not
Nope.
doing this to get rich. We're not doing this to get famous.
nope.
Just to give everybody, like I said, I mean, it's nice to go and watch the Sportsman channel, and you see these guys going out in ranches and
Yeah.
oh man, well we have a cornfield right here, and we
Yeah.
got a little bit of
Well,
woods.
I mean, look,
and-
I'm gonna say it now. We're gonna do some recording this year, and there's gonna be hunts when we don't see anything.
Nah.
It's gonna happen.
I mean,
but that's hunting. It's
we're not
killing.
we're not just gonna show just the success that we
Right.
do. Like I said, I'm kind of getting some footage of scouting, and if I can, I'd like to show everybody, like, I'm saving all the footage. We'll be able to go back whenever we make a hunt there. We'll be able to go back to the footage.
The footage from the
Say,
early scouting, the early.
This is
seasons,
where we
the
went
late-
scout. This
yeah.
is why we went hunt here.
Yeah.
Did it work out? Maybe we did this wrong. Maybe whenever I scouted it, the sign showed that it was late season
Yeah.
instead of early season. Maybe we hadn't had a cold front yet to where a lot of the food stores died, so maybe they're still over here.
Yeah. We don't get cold fronts. We get cold fronts.
Yeah. So, like I said, we'll show the whole process, scout to hunt, success or fail.
The
I mean,
kids.
sometimes, sometimes we go duck hunting
Yeah.
and come back 2 ducks, maybe.
Yeah.
I seen the
That's
boys
right.
go and come back with
That's
hardly
right.
nothing.
That's hunting. I think they're gonna get a kick out of this. Cutting them loose and letting like Chandler and Jack, letting them go squirrel hunting and let them shoot 84 times and come back with 2 squirrels.
Yeah.
Should be interesting.
Jax was always good for that. I mean, that's
Chandler
another
too.
thing. That's another thing for the duck hunting. We could show. We'll let the boys skeet shoot off the front of the camps, just to get some practice. Then go make a duck hunt.
Yep.
And still, really, the boys out there shooting 2 boxes of shells, come back with 1 bird. But they have fun.
Yeah. Me, I love to cook. We can do a couple of
Yeah.
wild game dishes.
We
the way I
go
like to
we
cook.
go duck hunt. We can come back.
Yep.
And show how we cook down some duck, make a duck gumbo or
All
duck
the way.
stew,
Yep.
or same thing. Like I said, frogs. Show everybody up north how we eat frogs, crawfish, crabs. If we want to go, I mean, there's places around the house we could go crabbing around your house,
Yeah.
catch some crabs, do a little crab ball. Other than that, like I said, we're not here to harden anything. We're not here to act like rock stars. We're not here to, man, look.
No,
this-
we're
this
just
is-
your average hunters, just go and do their thing.
We out here killing monsters.
There you go.
I mean,
Monster hogs.
yeah. The way we hunt, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a fucking Sasquatch.
I'm just waiting to come across a black bear. Man.
They did
I
say
don't
they
do the
started
black-
releasing black
yeah, I
bears
don't do the black bear thing.
in the basin on the management areas. They have the signs up, but I still haven't yet see one. I think that'll be further south around where they letting them
I
go.
hope so.
Hey, they talking about putting a bear season.
I think they put one in play for certain areas. It's a lottery. You gotta, put your name in for a drawing for it. Me and Chandler were talking about it, but I think it's in certain areas. Still, I'm not trying to go
You never know.
look for them.
Bearskin
Yeah.
rug would look good right here on the floor.
I ain't going to look for them. Hell with that. They tree you up. You climbed up. They can climb up there with you. Nope.
Yeah. But
Nope.
other than that,
That's all I got.
some of the other stuff we're gonna talk about is just people stay safe in the swamp. You scout. I mean, I know I do a lot of scouting by myself. It gets dangerous. Snakes, alligators. I mean,
Yep.
we'll cover all that, but that's pretty much all I got. Until
it.
next time.
Till next time.
All right.